Night has fallen and you're weary from travel. Stars fill the sky above, and in front of you is a brightly lit wooden house, the only building you've seen for days.
What's up, everybody? My name is Erin, and welcome to the Mad Maker Studio. I was feeling a little melancholy this past weekend, and I kind of let my emotions pick which game to play next. And that led me to Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. Earlier this week, I tried recording the first episode, and then this happened. I don't know if I can stop moving. I'm just perpetually. Am I just forever moving? Oh my gosh. Oh, go, WASD. I didn't realize there was an auto walk feature, and because I'm such a boss with WASD, I could not get out of it and had to quit the game to research how to make it stop. Maybe I can end this episode just walking straight into the ocean. Nope, still moving. I'm drifting slowly to the left. Oh no. But I'm back. I found out how to fix it. I'm already in much better spirits today than I was earlier this week. And I'm ready to take you all on a visually and audibly bittersweet road trip across Depression-era America as the 12-foot Home Depot skeleton. And if that doesn't make sense now, it will soon. Go to the house.
You walk toward the house, hearing the sounds of laughter and talk as you reach the door and push it open.
Enter.
You sit down and join the game. It's a cheap buy-in, and not many of the other players are very good.
All right, well, let's have a little look around, shall we?
The lady fiddling with dice gets good cards, but has no real strategy. The man to your right seems to just hold on to the highest cards he has, regardless of suit or any consideration of matches.
Okay, well, who else is here?
The man in gray across from you, though, he's good. He already had the largest pile of coins when you bought in, and while your winnings grow quickly, you can't quite catch him.
Keep playing.
One by one, the other players leave the table, sometimes with pique or with wry humor, leaving their winnings with you or the man in gray.
All right, well, we're gonna keep playing.
Finally, it's just you and the man in gray. He looks at you, full of humor, and winks. Last hand?
I'm in.
He deals, you draw, and look at your hand. It's good. It's great. The best hand, in fact. A royal straight flush. Spades. Aces high.
Well, all right, it sounds like nothing can beat me. Bring it on, Wolfman.
But the man in gray pushes forward his whole pile. You're not sure exactly how much it is, but it's more than you've got. You can't match that.
Well, then I guess I'll fold.
The man in gray stops you. Now, if you like, I'll let you wager your word. I know you'll be good for it. Just promise you'll pay the debt, however I ask.
Well, this can only end well for us, so you have my word.
The man in gray smiles. All right, then. I'll call.
Show 'em. Uh-oh. Oh, I guess that's my word. Well, we saw that coming a mile away. Dire Wolf, Chapter 1.
Well, your luck wasn't so good, was it? That's quite the hand, but not for the game we're playing. I'm afraid you owe me. Your life, sure, but more than that, your labor. You see, this land is built on stories. It's one big story, this country, woven of many small ones. Few of the small ones are strictly true, and the big story is mostly a lie. All the stories and songs and myths and legends start somewhere, with a seed. As they're told and retold and passed around, they grow and change to become the stories we know. To pay your debt to me, you'll be carrying stories, finding the seeds first and then spreading them, telling them onwards so they can begin gaining strength. This is no light task. Stories are heavy.
Ooh, that just set the tone for the whole game.
Most of the stories you'll find will be small seeds. They might be true, but they grow wild and unbelievable with the telling. The more important stories are the true ones, the ones people will tell you about their own lives. Those often get lost in the weaves of the big story. The more true stories you can find and tell, the more you can weave that truth into the big story. Tarnish it a bit, perhaps, but isn't a dingy and battered truth better than a shining lie?
No matter how much it hurts, I do think it is always better to be told the truth.
Now, go ahead. You tell me a story. I'll trade you some information about your task.
Okay. So we've got travel, tell the story of the northbound train blinking its giant eye as it crawls through the night. Justice, choice, morality. Tell the story of the endless series of doors of different kinds, each leading to only more doors. The world, heaven, desires fulfilled, wishes come true. Tell the story of the parting cloud of fog to reveal a brief glimpse of a land of promise and plenty. Tell the story of tossing a pair of bone dice on a blood-red velvet table. They will come up snake eyes and wink at you. Wheel of fortune, fortune, fate, luck. Or the tower, death, change, endings, moving on. Tell the story of a black and gray city where every building is filled with desiccated corpses. Well, I'm just gonna work my way down top to bottom.
Travel? That's your job. Wander from place to place, gather those stories and spread them. People get bored hearing the same stories over and over. But an old cliche in one state might be a rip-roaring new yarn in another.
Okay. So we've already told that story, so there's going to be an eyeball that appears there. So let's go with justice.
You'll sometimes have to make choices about what kind of story you're finding. Is it a love story or a tragedy? Don't gather too many of one kind, though. This grand story needs variety.
Well, if this game is as big as I think it is, I'm planning to talk to a lot of different people. the world.
Your deepest desires, your greatest wish, heaven? Big Rock Candy Mountain, El Dorado, the promised land, that place just over the ridge where they all say that the water tastes just like the sweetest wine. Well, I don't know where that is.
Well, I didn't expect you to, but okay.
It's supposed to be somewhere in this country. Ask the people you meet. They're all searching for the same thing.
Wheel of Fortune.
It's just luck. Funny how bad luck seems to follow the folks who already have problems aplenty. Well, try your luck out there in this country. See how the dice treat you. It's not all bad. You'll have to work hard, but I'll give you the gift for seeing the true shapes of people.
I appreciate that.
Not many who can do that.
Thank you. And finally, our lovely explodey tower.
I'll strip away your flesh to make the journey easier, but still you'll feel pain.
Great.
Hunger, weariness, thirst, and despair. They're all part of stories, the part not often told. And death, yes, but don't worry. As long as your task remains, you come back. Go on your way, Seeker. Maybe we'll meet again, or maybe not. Either way, it'll be an experience for you.
That's what I came here for.
I'm jealous in some ways. I hope you find what you're looking for.
Ooh. So here's our tall, skelly boy. I'm gonna try not to do what I did last time and accidentally hit auto walk.
This bungalow is being ransacked. There's furniture piled in the front yard, ammunition heaped under the mailbox, and a crowd of clean-cut men ripping apart a car in the driveway.
How strange.
The two heavily armed, mud-caked women leaning over the porch railing share the same bored grin. One shouts at you. Lend a couple innocent gals a cigarette?
Well, I don't think you're innocent, gals, given what we've just been told, but I also don't want to make you further upset, so sure.
You are about to hand her a smoke when those men draw pistols and shove you hard into the dirt. You know these girls? They demand.
No.
Once they've dumped your bag out into the road, they decide you're harmless. If you were selling booze too, you'd have a lot more cash, sneers one. On the porch behind him, the two bootleggers are fingering their empty rifles, grinning in disappointment.
Well, I guess I'll move on. Yeah, I don't think I'd have a whole lot considering I've been stripped of everything from that poker game. Alright, we got a story. The women arrested for bootlegging. Oh, US-Canada border. Oh, there's me and my stellar WASD skills. Hold on, let me make sure. I'm gonna... Okay, I made sure I could turn auto walk on and off. Let's see. Oh, good. Okay, your goal is to fulfill your obligation to the wolf by finding all 16 characters scattered over the US and trade stories with them until you earn their trust and finish their story. By having adventures, you'll begin to collect stories. When you meet characters, they'll ask you for different types of stories: tragic, hopeful, scary, thrilling, or funny. Remember what sort of adventure you had, and you'll know what type of story you got. Stories will grow and change as you tell them. Once you tell a story to a character, it will be out in the world, and you may encounter someone else who will tell you a better version of it. These better versions will be more entertaining when you tell them to characters, but be sure to tell different stories so that you have a chance to grow them all. The stories you get from characters are wildcards. They will fit any of the 5 categories, however, telling them will not cause them to grow, so use them sparingly as you're giving up a chance to spread other stories. If you want to swap around the stories you tell, you can do that in the inventory. Awesome. So there are several ways to travel across the US. The easiest is walking, but it's slow. You can speed up your walking pace by whistling, hold down the button, and match the notes to keep your spirits and speed up. Okay, controls. You can also hop a ride on a boxcar. We are totally doing that. This will get you exactly where you need to go, but runs the risk of getting injured by the railroad cops. To hop a ride, find a train yard. A safer way to travel is hitchhiking. I beg to differ. To hitchhike, hold the hitchhike button while standing next to a road with cars on it. Not every car will stop, and they won't always carry you the full distance, but you will be safe. Finally, if you've got some cash, you can go to a city and ride the fast, safe passenger trains from place to place. It costs money, but it's the best way to travel. Each time you meet a character, you'll have a night to talk with them and exchange stories. If you tell them the kind of stories they want, you'll gain their trust and move forward through their tale. However, there's no penalty for telling them a different story. You will still learn whatever they have to tell you. Characters have multiple chapters, and when you fully open the eye in the interface the next time you meet them, you'll move on to their next chapter. When you've finished all the chapters, you won't see them again. Each time you finish a night with a character, they will move somewhere else. You can always check the map to see where they are, but they will also show you when they move. My inventory. The inventory holds the mementos you've collected from the characters you met. Once a character trusts you fully, they'll give you something to remember them by, which can be used to travel to where you first met. I'm a fan of fast travel. The inventory screen also has tabs, so you can see stories, a timeline of your adventures, a map of the US, and your progress with each of the characters. Great. Where are all of those things? Maybe if I keep walking, it'll tell me. Alright, let's check out what's going on over here.
Off the road and into the woods, you can't help but come across this package by the old tree tied to a sturdy stick. The cloth wrapping conceals, though not particularly well, something large and softly unsettled. Little eyes blink back at you from inside the bundle.
Move on or say hello. I'm gonna say hello. Maybe he'll tell me a story.
The shape gives a start.
Please don't tell my pa that I'm in here.
It says in a small voice.
Why not?
Pa doesn't want to live with us anymore, but I want to go with him. Don't tell him, please. I'm hiding.
Look, I just met you, so I don't feel any obligation to, you know, make any promises to you. But if your dad is leaving home, you know, and you're hiding to go with him, like, I don't know if that's gonna, how well that will pan out for this character in the long term. So I would prefer to look for his dad.
His father must have been here at some point, but you sure can't see him now.
Please go. He's coming back any minute,
Says the boy, growing agitated.
He's gonna see you talking to me. Please, go!
He only calms down when you leave. You don't see another soul for miles.
All right, well, I guess we're moving on. Got a new story. I need to see what these controls are, okay? Or I'm going to lose my mind. I am a point and click gamer, not so much a WASD PC gamer. So I'm just gonna grab a little post-it note. My inventory is I. M equals map. Well, that just sounds self-explanatory, and I feel dumb. Okay, so I had to back out for a sec just to figure out what my controls are. So I have I is inventory. So these are the stories, or these are the stories I'm collecting. Dude, this is a little confusing. Whew, we got a long way to go. So we've not met any main characters yet. And we are all the way in Maine. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh my gosh. Well, I gotta take y'all down through my homeland in the Carolinas. But it doesn't look like there's a whole lot there. A little sad, but... Trying to zoom out here. Whoa! We've got a mother flippin' adventure ahead of us, guys. All right, let's go collect more stories. See, it's getting a bit darker. I hope we're not like on a day-night cycle, but we might be, like, if we're traveling, like, we're a giant skeleton boy right now. So if we were like traveling, you know, from the tip-top part of Maine and going on downward, and it's how we travel is affecting the day-night cycle, I mean, that's pretty dope.
You can see storm clouds on the horizon, and you don't relish the thought of being caught wandering this rocky seaside road in the rain. Fortunately, you find the lighthouse door open, with a daunting staircase before you.
Well, let's climb up.
At the top of an ornate wrought iron spiral, you're breathless and feeling the strain on your knees. Rain already batters the walls outside. You can only knock on a heavy wooden door leading into the upper level. Muffled voices and light seep in beneath the door.
Put your ear to the door.
Looks like we got a visitor. Sounds like a man's voice, deep and rough.
Well, behave yourself. I'll open the door.
Another man, this one with a higher, more sonorous voice. I always behave myself. He feigns indignation, but his tone betrays affection instead.
Wait.
After a moment, the door unlatches from the inside and opens. The man before you is tall and muscular, with a hint of a paunch beneath his wide chest. The heavy iron knob on the door looks nearly dainty in his huge hand.
Didn't want to be out in this rain, did you? Come in.
Oh, thank you. Let's step inside.
Despite the rough exterior, this room looks like a well-appointed parlor. There's a rug on the well-trod wooden floor and an enormously plush couch. And sat upon it is a stocky fellow grinning through a great hazel-colored beard. Tea? He offers, hoisting a teapot.
Oh, they're so nice. You fellas been here long?
A few years.
The tall one sits on the sofa, wrapping his arm casually around the other lighthouse keeper. 5, says the smaller, but by no means small, man.
That long? Time flies. We traveled together before that. You must have some good stories from the road, huh?
I just started, so I think I only have like 2. Yeah, well, I have some.
You wake up the next morning on their old sofa, still warm from an excess of tea. And cakes? There might have been little cakes.
Nice.
Prodigious snoring rumbles in from the floor above you, and you quietly take your leave.
Move on. Was I over here yet?
The woman walks the small town square with the poise of Betty Davis, the confident stride and inimitable mannerisms elevating the sidewalk into a plush Hollywood carpet. And wrapped around her neck, a yellow velvet ribbon, bright as an ocean sunrise.
All right, well, let's ask around.
You question a well-dressed man parked outside an oyster house. Prudish woman. I took her on a fine date and she didn't remove so much as a ribbon. Excuse me, can you step back from the coupe? That's the spirit. You decide to seek a second opinion.
Well, if this woman's yellow ribbon around her neck is anything like a character from a childhood story about a little girl and a green ribbon around her neck, I think we want her to keep that ribbon on her. Let's ask around some more.
You talk with a waitress smoking outside a diner. Something funny about her. Just showed up one day. Doesn't work, doesn't live anywhere as far as I know. Just around. Myself, I'd love to know who made all her beautiful clothes.
Let's approach the woman. Oh, I don't like that icon.
You ask the woman if you may join her at a public bench.
You may. Lovely outside, isn't it?
Her eyes are beautiful shaded brown. Beneath the yellow ribbon, a thick, fibrous scar wraps around her throat.
Weather like this, it reminds me of Paris.
Well, I guess that's the end of our conversation. We're gonna move on. All right, we're making progress. And I am digging the soundtrack. See, is there anything just over here? I'm gonna try and... I know this is like a very... I don't want to hitchhike just yet. I'm gonna try and see and talk to as many people and characters as possible. I understand this is a very long game, but I also have this feeling this is one of those games that everyone should experience at least once.
A dusty truck and a man on horseback pull up next to one another in front of the grocer. Suddenly, the driver and the rider, two wiry old men with identical haircuts, start shrieking at one another.
What's going on?
The man with the truck leaps into the street.
Brother!
He shouts. The one on the horse tumbles out of his saddle.
Brother!
He screams. They embrace in the road.
30 years!
Hollers the driver. The rider, tears streaming down over his face, corrects him.
No! 32!
Oh, wow.
Everyone here is watching these two older men cry and hug one another in the middle of Main Street. Cars and wagons are backing up. People are yelling.
Take a photo of us!
The driver begs you. Starts hauling a tripod out of the bed of his truck.
Say cheese.
The long-lost brothers pose in front of traffic, cry snot pouring out of their noses. As angry passerby wave you out of the road, each brother presses a coin into your hand. When the traffic disperses, you realize they overpaid you quite a shocking amount.
All right, we're gonna hang on to that. Move on. Okay, was there something over here?
This will be my tale. My
Enter Boston. Boston. Red brick, green trees, blue sky. In this weather, Boston is beautiful. That is until you make your way deeper into the city and get lost amongst the cramped, winding, shadow-haunted old streets. Oh, this is cool. Okay, so this is also kind of like a survival mechanic almost. I can either explore, earn money, train station, store. I only got 2 coins. We're very early in the game, so I'm going to explore.
This city is like no other you've been to. Crooked streets splay out in a maze of narrow passages, no two alike. Soon, you find yourself in twilight, utterly lost. Bright light crests around one corner, a car approaching.
I just remembered one of the things that was pointed out in the overview manual is that hailing a cab, hitchhiking, you'll be safe. And right now I'm lost in a city. But if I hail the taxi cab, I don't know where I want to go. Let me hail the taxi cab just to see what happens.
Compelled by the cold and foreboding night, you don't question it as you drag your bones into the cab. But you realize immediately how strange the vehicle is. It's a sleek thing, like a shallow parabola gliding over the street.
Look at the driver.
Where to? He asks. You have to stop and think. Eventually, you name Boston Common, the only landmark you know in this town. He peels off silently. You feel the car move before you hear the engine.
Oh, let's look out the window.
He takes you through ever odder streets, flanked by painfully clean, gleaming buildings and signage for businesses you don't recognize. Even the air seems different. It doesn't smell so sharply of gasoline and coal. Eventually, you come to a stop.
This narrator is on point with atmosphere. I love these descriptions. Let's pay the driver. Let's hope we have enough.
The fare's in glowing numbers above his dashboard. It's much too high. Surely a mistake. No charge, he insists. You look like you need a break. And then you find yourself on the curb at Boston Common, under thick moonlight, in a city much as you'd left it before.
Oh, that was very nice of him. Thank you, sir. Ooh. Okay, and I can always leave. What can we do to earn money? Cash, look for work, or panhandle. I want to know who wants to hire a 12-foot Home Depot skeleton. So let's see what kind of work they're gonna offer me. This hospital needs someone to mop floors for the day. A nurse gives you instructions: rat-tat-tat, scrub surgery, A and floor 2. Skip the rooms with the newborns, ask Dr. Penny if he wants his office done. This is very important. Get these hallways before lunch. You got it. You try to remember all the nurse's very important instructions, but it's impossible. You haven't seen her in hours, this place is busy as hell, and nobody's watching you. Try to find her and mop floors at random. I'm gonna mop floors at random. You mop random rooms and hallways as fast as you can, totally at random. Around lunch, someone in a suit waves you down and hands you a plate of lunch. At about 3, a nurse gives you an ice cream cone. Sick kids wave at you. A doctor shakes your hand. What's going on? When the nurse tracks you down at the end of the day, she's beaming. You did a wonderful job. She fills your hand with cash. Everyone was so impressed. This place has never been so clean. You keep your secret method to yourself. Move on. Oh, that was great. What is this? I don't know if I want to go to the train station because I don't want to go that way just yet. But what's the store got to offer since I just made buco bucks? Hot apple cider, clam chowder, scrambled eggs, iced coffee. I'll get me some scrambled eggs, maybe. Ooh, half my money's gone. Well, at least I ate. Alright, let's go ahead and leave. I think we're done here for now. Let's see if I can get turned around. Where was I going? So, right here. We've got New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Maine. Looks like we're in daytime. Again. What we got going on over here?
As you walk along the river near an unfinished bridge, a man with a tool belt catches sight of you. Hey, over there, he calls out. You look like you could use a quick way to get some hard-earned money. Hard-earned is right. The bridge hangs high over a perilous drop.
Is it safe or accept? Well, I'm a big old skeleton boy. So I'm good. I'm gonna accept.
Great, he exclaims. Suppose you'll want a safety belt. We Thunderbird people don't need them. We fly when we fall.
Yeah, built up.
You find yourself up high, looking over the rushing river that crashes around the foundation of the bridge. As you work side by side, the man mentions, "You can see Thunderbirds up here if you know how to look."
Inquire.
You ask him to explain. Practice your peripheral vision, if you dare. Last thing you need up here is for them to see you seeing them and come swooping at you, he says laughingly.
Well, I only got one option, so we're gonna try.
You only see the clouds thicken, but it sure does pass the time working. The man pays you well when you're done with the job.
All right, move on. Ooh, got a new story. Is there anything else? I don't want to camp yet. Let me go over here and grab this guy, and then I'll turn around and go camp and see what's there. Oh, I'm sleepy. As you walk down the road, a black crow flutters down to land in your path. It looks at you, cocks its head, and speaks. Well, you've got a long, long road ahead, don't you? All these people to chase down, or so I hear, it laughs. I've got some experience when it comes to chasing folk. Tell me about it or ignore the crow. Tell me about it. Well, if you want, you can go find your friend again, ask them more about their life. They may want better stories this time, though. It peers up at you. Didn't they tell you where they were headed next? Yeah, no. But hey, the world is full of people. Bet you could find another friend like that if you went looking around. There's more than one interesting person in this land for sure. It gives a gravely laugh. That's what humans say anyway. And with that, it launches into the air and disappears. Move on. Alright, I'm sleepy, so let's go camping.
Hey there, stranger. You're welcome to enjoy this fire with me, if you're respectful, that is.
Well, I reckon I can do that.
This here is my spot, and I ain't inclined to share it with any bad characters. You can call me Quinn.
Howdy, Quinn.
These here are my venturing companions. Kaz is the big un, and the one with the spots is Flip.
Those are great names, and those are great doggos.
I usually beat my way on the rails, but the road news said this town was fat, and the weather was fine. So I'm taking in the sights and seeing what I can drum up.
Sounds like a plan.
I want a story that scares me. Now I'm older, almost nobody can do it. Give me your best shot.
Ooh, I don't know if I got any scary stories. Here are all the stories you've collected so far. They're organized by subject because the boss likes tarot cards. Okay, I guess you're like his intern then? Okay, this is, oh, the future. Okay, this is the subject of each story here. If you tell this person a story about love, for example, they will tell you something from their own life relating to the subject of love. Poor things. As the night goes on, this icon will move left to right. When it reaches the right side, the night is over, and so is your storytelling. The person you're talking to will usually tell you where they'll be next so you can find them again. Alright, we got our very first recurring character. If you tell them the types of stories they request, you'll gain their trust and the eye will open. When it opens fully, the next time you meet them, they'll open up more about their life. They'll remember this from conversation to conversation. So don't feel you need to open the eye all the way the first time you meet someone. Dance around and get to know them. Okay. So the Fool, freedom. Emperor, authority. Past memories. High Priestess, the future. Queen of Cups, family. Knight of Swords, sadness. Okay, good. It'll let me preview. Want a scary story? I don't know if that's scary. The Odd Silent Taxi Cab in Boston. Well, I mean, her scar is pretty scary. We don't know how she got it.
Well, that sure was a downer. Give me a good adventure tale instead any day.
Well, let's see if I got one of those for you, Quinn.
Sad. Well, so you think just 'cause I'm young, I gotta be sad, crying after my mama every night. I don't need you looking after me, so if you're offering, don't. And I thought I told you to be respectful.
Well, I collected all the stories I could find, Quinn. Work with me, please.
What you really ought to be asking yourself is if you want to keep enjoying my spot or not.
I do. I'm very sleepy. I'm a very sleepy skeleton boy.
I'm in the mood for something real funny like.
Do I have a funny story? Yeah, the bridge builders around Boston seemed like they had a good sense of humor.
Not sure I quite follow that one.
I'm doing my best, Quinn.
Freedom. Well, teacher used to talk about freedom like America was eat up with it, but the tramping kind seems to be just about the only real freedom still in supply.
Ooh. This kid is woke AF.
Ain't no freedom from an empty stomach or bad weather, unless you're rich.
He is super woke.
I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something. Scary stuff.
I don't know if I have a scary story. I mean, that was more heartwarming. I guess this was kind of scary.
Not sure I quite follow that one.
I'm not making any progress with this boy. And the night's almost over. Oh my gosh, just let me get one in.
Authority, bosses and such. I ain't nobody's little Angelina if that's what you're asking. I take care of myself and my dogs. I don't need no jocker looking out for me. So if you're offering, don't. Shoot, I thought I told you to be respectful.
Well, if I had more people to talk to, Quinn.
You want to keep enjoying my spot or not? Think about that. You got any happy stories?
Oh, thank goodness, I do have one of those. Brothers.
Now that's a happy story.
Yes. It's opening.
My family. There ain't no way I'm gonna start jaw flapping about those bastards. Judases, the lot of them. Enough said.
Ooh, dang, boy.
I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something.
I
Scary
don't
stuff.
have any of that. Let's see what I got. I got the lighthouse keepers near Portland, Maine. I got the odd silent taxi cab in Boston, and that's it. So I guess of the two, that's like a love story or happy story. This one's the most befitting of what you want from me, and I don't even know if it's gonna work.
Not sure I quite follow that one.
Hey, we gotta start somewhere.
What's my future look like? I ain't looking for a traveling companion, if that's what you mean.
No, I'm good.
I do fine by myself, so just stick to minding your own.
Well, you're talking to me. I'm answering.
Well, night's over. I think I'll see what's happening up the road this way.
Ah, see you in the western tip of New York, eh?
Didn't understand all your stories, but I'd gladly listen to more if I see you again.
All right, well, we'll definitely be seeing you again. I'll make sure to have a scary story for you.
The tramping life suits me just fine. Every day's a venture. With things being so depressed, folks walk around like it's the end of everything good. But it ain't.
Things get better. It does get better.
Plenty nice things to see if you know where to look.
All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this episode of Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. Since I had to re-record this section due to my earlier faux pas of auto walk, from here on out, I am experiencing this game totally blind. This game certainly feels like it's going to be full of characters whose stories can still relate to us in this day and time, and it does appear that we are literally going to be traveling across the entire map of the United States. With this in mind, I'm hoping we get to interact with a variety of more characters with different backgrounds and perspectives on the world around them and also in their personal lives, which seems to be the goal, you know, the debt we have to pay to Mr. Wolf. Thank you again for joining me. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're interested in following my own story. I hope to see you next time. Bye!